Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a desk worker, a frequent traveler, or honestly just someone who deals with that nagging daily stiffness in your lower half and back, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to break down a wildly effective 25-minute yoga sequence designed by instructor Charlie Follows. It's an all-levels practice, and it is specifically engineered to reset the two areas of our bodies that take the absolute most punishment in our modern lives: the hips and the spine. Throughout this explainer, we're going to completely deconstruct the exact mechanics of this flow. We're not just looking at what the movements are, but we'll dive into exactly why they work so well to release all that built-up tension. Now, this sequence is built as a highly calculated yoga wave that systematically releases tension. We'll be following 5 distinct phases today: grounding and tuning in, waking up the spine, deep hip openers, active strength and extension, and finally, the final wind down. Let's just jump right into phase 1, shall we? Phase 1, grounding and tuning in. Okay, so we literally start flat on the floor in child's pose. It's brilliant because it lets you assess your body in a state of zero weight-bearing pressure. It's kind of like checking in to see what your body actually needs today before forcing it to hold you up, right? Accessibility is baked right in from the very first breath. You can walk your hands forward, rest your head, gently sway the hips side to side, but Charlie drops a crucial tip right off the bat. If your knees are feeling sensitive, she highly recommends sticking a cushion right behind them so they don't have to bend quite as intensely. After that, we transition right down to the belly for windshield wipers. You just bend your legs and let them fall side to side. It's really simple but incredibly effective for releasing that lower back. We're starting low and we're moving slow. Then, as we shift onto our sides to do some leg extensions, bringing that knee up into the chest, we get this absolute gem of advice from Charlie. She says, there's no medals here for how far up you bring the leg. A little goes a long way. And honestly, that hits the nail right on the head. That is the core philosophy of this entire reset. It's entirely about the physical sensation, not visual perfection. You can use your hand to hold the knee close, on top of it, behind it, whatever actually works for you. Now, while we're still chilling in that side lying position, we add in a very specific mechanic. We're contrasting an active push with an active pull. When you extend the leg out, you slowly flex the foot, driving the heel up. Think of it like you're actively pushing something away. Then, as you bend the knee back in, you point your toes, imagining you're dragging a heavy weight back towards you. This push-pull activation is a total game changer. It forces you to really feel the strength in that leg, prepping your joints and muscles for the deeper work ahead, right before we sit up and move into a seated spinal twist. Which brings us to phase 2, waking up the spine. All right, so with our foundational leg work out of the way, we move into the spinal warm-up, and things get incredibly intentional and focused here. We start in Sphinx pose. You're on your forearms on the mat, sure, but you are not just hanging out passively. The cue here is to actively try pulling your chest forward while simultaneously rolling your shoulders back. It creates this awesome dynamic tension. And if you really want to take it a step further and light up those back muscles, flex your feet and drag those heels in towards you, utilizing those exact same leg mechanics we just practiced on our sides. Those opposing forces are exactly what creates real structural engagement. From there, we push back into a tabletop position for cat-cow, but this is not your typical gym class cat-cow. It's highly deconstructed and mindful. Instead of just throwing your spine up and down, Charlie breaks it into 5 specific segments. On the inhale, you start the arch at the absolute base, the tailbone. Then you move the bend into the lower back, up to the mid-back, the upper back, and finally, you look forward to bring it into the neck. And the exhale, you reverse it perfectly. Tuck the chin, round the upper back, then mid, then lower, and finally tuck the tailbone. Doing this slow 5-step isolation builds some incredible mobility. Moving right along into phase 3, deep hip and side body openers. Okay, so this is the deep tissue phase. We're specifically targeting the hips and the side body to directly counteract, all those hours we spend sitting at a desk. After a quick downward dog and some baby steps to the top of the mat, we step back into a low lunge. And I really want to highlight the foot mechanics here. To protect your front knee, especially if you catch it buckling inward, you have to press firmly into both the big toe side and the pinky toe side of your foot. That keeps the knee perfectly stacked over the ankle. From there, reach one arm up, take a side bend, and press the top of your back foot hard into the mat. It stabilizes the hips and creates this massive opening down the whole front side of your body. It's an active pose just as much as it is a deep stretch. Next, we bring both hands to the inside of that front leg and wiggle the foot out to the side for lizard lunge. If you've done yoga, you know this one. This posture is famous for targeting deep physical sensations in the hips by opening the front body, all while you twist the spine. One hand stays planted, the other reaches up, and you peel your chest open. It plays a literal crucial role in releasing that stubborn, deep-seated tension in our lower halves. And what I absolutely love about this sequence is how accessible it is. Charlie gives us 3 distinct variations for this lizard lunge, so you can meet your body exactly where it happens to be today. Option 1, just stay high with a twist. Option 2, if you've got some room to play, start dipping the opposite hip down and let the front knee open out just a bit. Or Option 3, if you want the whole shebang, reach that top arm back behind you and let the side hip drop down completely. You are totally in control of the depth. But all of this deep stretching begs a pretty important question, right? How exactly do we stabilize the body after opening it up this much? We just created all this space in the hip joints and the spine, so we have to bridge the gap and actually support those newly opened joints with some muscular activation. That leads us right into phase 4, active strength and extension. To lock in and support our brand new flexibility, we need active strength. So we step straight back from that deep lunge into a solid plank. And notice the intense muscular engagement required here. You are not just hanging out lazily on your joints. You push the floor away, gaze down to keep your head and neck relaxed, press through your feet, squeeze those inner thighs together, and heavily engage your glutes. It's total body tension, and it perfectly prepares you to lower down with supreme control into chaturanga or all the way to your belly for cobra. After cycling through downward dog, we hit the true peak of this strength phase, the bow shape. This whole thing kicks off from a modified side plank. You've got your hand under your shoulder, but your bottom knee stays down on the mat like a kickstand. The top arm reaches overhead and you start turning your chest open. It is this incredibly beautiful, powerful mix of balance, stretch, and raw active strength. Let's break down exactly how to get into this active bow shape safely. Step 1, you've got that kickstand knee down. Step 2, you lift the top leg, bend the knee behind you, and reach your top hand back to catch your foot. Step 3, and this is the absolute secret sauce for strength, you aggressively press that foot into your hand, which naturally lets you puff out the chest. Finally, step 4, press your hips forward while keeping your neck totally relaxed. Pushing the foot into the hand, that's the mechanic that creates ultimate stability and deep supported extension. And finally, we reach phase 5, the final wind down. Coming out of that peak shape with a ton of care and control, we shift gears to meticulously cool the body down and guide the nervous system right back to a resting state. We return exactly to where we started, in child's pose, but this time we add a thread the needle variation. You turn your head to look to one side, slide the opposite arm underneath, and just let your body weight sink onto that shoulder. You're literally letting gravity do the work to stretch the outside of your arm. And since the hard physical work is mostly done, Charlie cues us here to intentionally notice the breath. If it's coming in fast from those planks and bows, this is the exact position where you actively start slowing it down. For our final stretch, we walk the hands in to sit up in a kneeling position for a seated neck release. You clasp your hands together behind your back, rest them over at your right hip, and just let your head tilt to the right. The trick here is to just allow your head to be really, really heavy. The heavier the head, the more gravity takes over, creating this deep stretch down the side of the neck, opening up the chest and running all the way down the arm. You roll the chin through the center, repeat on the other side, and just use the natural weight of your body to melt away that final, stubborn bit of upper body tension. We finish the whole practice with a huge, energizing breath in and a big, cleansing sigh out. We've just deconstructed exactly how targeted push-pull activations, mindful spinal segmentation, and active strength can completely reset the body. So think about it. If a highly structured 25-minute movement wave can so effectively reset your hips and spine, how could integrating this physical blueprint reshape your daily routine? When we actually understand the mechanics of our own bodies, combating the stiffness of our modern sedentary lifestyle isn't just possible, it's honestly incredibly straightforward. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep focusing on those mechanics, and I will see you next time.